Canadian politics is boring.
Welcome to another horrifying episode of Canadian Politics is Boring. My name is Jesse. With me, as always, is my good buddy Reese. Reese, say bonjour to our audience.
Bonjour.
There you go.
There we go. Nailing that
good.
French.
Yep, always very good. Reese is going to tell me something.
Small talk first. Small talk. How has been week yours?
My week has been good. Things.
Me too.
I've done things and stuff.
I
I've
saw-
slept and ate.
I saw thing
What things are?
stuff. Anyway, small talk done. Let's get to the point. Podcasts can get bogged down in small talk.
I think that's kind of why they like us.
Yeah. Anyway, this is called
You sound disappointed.
I want them to like us for the research and the hard work and the wonderful editing in the professional studio. Anyway, the whiskey whores of Han Island.
The whiskey whores of Whore Island?
The whiskey... The Whiskey Whores of Whore Island. No, this is called The Whiskey Wars of Han Island. Have you ever heard of this?
I have never heard of this. I've never heard of Han Island. Where's Han Island? I'm going to look it up, actually.
Next to, it's in the Solo Sea. You get it? If you thought that was funny, you would send us an email.
I did not think that was funny.
No.
How do you spell Han?
H-A-N.
Oh, just like that, eh?
Hand, but without the D.
Han Island.
Don't Google it. You're going to find information. You're going to ruin the
I'm
story.
just looking at Google Maps.
Yeah, I've got a picture. I was going to show you.
Oh,
a
you're going to
picture.
show? Okay, all right.
Yeah, that the audience can't see.
I'm not allowed knowing anything beforehand or even during the show.
Yeah, stop it. So, did you know that for nearly a century? Oh, actually, this was sent to us by a lovely listener from the UK, from Manchester.
Oh, hello, Manchester.
So, for nearly a century, Canada and Denmark.
Well, hold on. Who was the person who submitted it?
Dave? I can't remember the
You
name.
gotta remember these names, man. Dave?
Queen Duke Bimbleton?
Queen Duke Bimbleton.
It's the first name that popped in my head.
Dave Queen Duke Bimbleton.
No, there we go. A person called Gareth, who was from Manchester.
Gareth.
Thank you. So anyway.
Thank you, Gareth. Gareth Manchester.
Gareth Manchester.
That's your last. Yep.
So Canada and Denmark have been locked in a bitter dispute. So Han Island has no inhabitants, no vegetation, and is only a mile in diameter. So it's
Sounds like a fucking riot.
It's 2.1 square kilometers and is in the Nares Strait. So it's in the Kennedy Channel between Greenland and Ellesmere Island.
I don't know where that is.
That is quite far north, really far north.
Well,
like
if it was
kind of
near
Arctic.
Greenland, I would assume it would be far north.
Yeah, so there's a theoretical line that runs down the middle of the strait in between Ellesmere.
I do know about this.
You do?
I do. Yes. I want to hear more details, though. I actually know, I don't know a lot about this, but as soon as you started, this sounds familiar. The war between the whiskey war. Yes. I'm like, yes, no, I know.
So,
I love this story so much. Actually, this is one of the few stories that I actually know.
So yeah,
when you bring it up to me, this is very rare on this show.
So this invisible line dots through the middle of and the island is in the middle of it. So it's smack bang. I'll show you a picture. It's like two big land masses with a bunch of small islands, and there's a dotted line equidistant between both islands.
Right.
That Han Island is just smack bang in the middle of. So
yeah.
And the island is named after Hans Hendrik, who was a native Greenlandic. And he was an Arctic explorer and translator who worked on British and American Arctic expeditions in the 1800s.
Oh, very cool.
Let's name, how can we honor Hans? Let's name the worst island with nothing after him.
Nothing on it.
Yeah, it's the only one we've got left. Sorry, Hans. So Canada and Denmark didn't come to terms with what Han Island, who should own Han Island. In 1973,
is it Han or Hans?
Han. It seems to change.
Oh,
from now on, we'll call it Hans because the guy was called Hans and is named after him. So
fair enough.
So Hans, the border treaty was signed, and they just overlooked that detail of that one island. They just didn't bother.
Right.
Which is fine because nobody ever goes there. Nothing ever happens.
Nothing happens. Nobody wants to.
There's no vegetation.
You can't farm there. There's no reason to. Right.
There's no vegetation. There's no inhabitants, but there's two Tim Hortons.
And they're building a condo with the Starbucks.
Building a condo with Starbucks, exactly. But the tension started in the 80s.
The 1980s?
So, so between 1980 and 1983, a Canadian firm called Dome Petroleum, which sounds like a bad guy
from He-Man,
oil company from a action film.
It's like Skeletor's right-hand man.
Exactly. Dome Petroleum. By the power of Dome Petroleum.
Oh, He-Man, I'm Dome Petroleum. I'll polish your dome. That's
with petroleum.
With petroleum.
And then set you on fire. So that's I'm going to make a T-shirt of that He-Man character. Dome Petroleum. Yeah. Behold the power of Dome Petroleum.
I'll set you on fire, He-Man.
Did you notice my dome? Anyway,
I don't know why we don't have our own children's cartoon already, Reese. Seriously.
Dome Patrol. Dome Patrol.
Dome Patrol, yeah. There you go.
It's like Paw Patrol, but they're all domes.
No, they only patrol domes. Do you have a dome that needs patrolling? We'll do it.
It's a very specific emergency service. So, so the New York Times...
Emergency service. It's an emergency. We need someone to casually patrol this dome quickly.
So in the 80s, this isn't from a New York Times article. With Canadian government's help, Dome's chairman and chief executive officer, Smilin' Jack Gallagher. That's what I said his name is. Smilin' Jack Gallagher.
The head of the Dome Petroleum, is Smilin' Jack Gallagher?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Well, it's because he's probably got lots of money. He's always happy.
It sounds like something out of a Doctor Who series, like.
Yeah.
All right.
So he basically believed that one of the
the
next major discovery of oil and gas was around Hans Island.
Oh.
Dun dun dun. dun.
Right.
So in fact, they say that the geological formations are favorable to a river delta of the kind that produces large petroleum fields elsewhere and structures that can contain large deposits. But there are reservations. If the deposits prove too small, oil analysts say it would be uneconomic to develop in such a hostile environment. And if they prove to be mostly gas, it might take at least 10 years to develop a market because gas is costlier to move than oil and not in such short supply. So basically saying that he thought that there could be 3 to 4 trillion cubic feet of gas reserves and 500 million barrels of oil.
Jesus.
And would be
underneath Hans Island
or around that area,
okay.
And would be sufficient to support a 3-ship transit system to eastern Canada, the United States. So
they couldn't like just build like I don't know, do the whole milkshake thing with the diagonal pipeline to grab it underneath. They'd have to build it on Hans Island.
Yeah. Well, so do you know what the Danish...
I know it's spelled H-A-N-S, but every time I hear it, I think of hands, like H-A-N-D-S, like
hands.
Like as if the island is made of hands, which is
terrifying. Or it's
terrifying.
just a one big hand sticking out the water, like, with a thumbs up to oil. Saying, here's oil. It's like, yeah. So, I think, so obviously the Canadian government was supporting this company that was doing this little, hey, let's sail a boat around, let's see if there's any oil. I don't know who you detect for oil.
It's the oil detector.
I guess you just
they just take out the oil detector and
they take out the oil detector. It's like a smoke detector,
but it detects oil.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Take the batteries out. Put her under a cushion. Muffle the noise. We found oil, but it's bloody annoying.
A smoke detector has like other uses than annoying you when you're trying to sleep, right? Like.
You can throw it at someone. You can take the battery out and lick it and it hurts. That's fun.
Have you not burned in a fire yet?
What would you do if you were Danish and Canada was sailing research vessels around a disputed island that you may or may not own? What would you do?
Set up a row of snipers.
No, close.
Okay.
So the Danish response was the Minister for Greenland chartered a helicopter to the island, placed a flag and left a bottle of schnapps there.
Why schnapps? Now I know this is what it is, but how did it start? Why did that start?
To say this is our island.
But what was with the schnapps? The flag, I understand.
Maybe it's just a nice gesture to whoever came. And he knew people were coming to the island.
Like,
so they were like,
too bad we got here first. Here's some booze.
yeah,
Like,
it was a consolation prize.
right. Yeah.
Too bad you don't own the
We
island.
get an island. You get a bottle of schnapps.
Look,
yeah.
it's definitely ours. You might have Tim Hortons. We opened a bar. So
right. So were they like? This is what I'm kind of wondering. Like, were they serious about putting the flag?
I don't like. I guess the smaller European nations, they tend to be quite creative when they don't have military. When they're dwarfed in terms of military and stuff like that. So there was I think it's the Cod Wars, where Iceland, which is obviously an island of tens of thousands of people at the time in the 50s, and the UK was millions, and had a one of the largest navies in the world still at that point. They had got in a dispute with the British Navy about where their fishermen could and couldn't fish off the coast of Iceland. Okay. And the Icelandic Navy sent some Coast Guard boats to escort their fishing trawlers. So the British responded by sending warships with theirs. And then the Icelandic people said, well, if you're going to send warships, we're going to write down all of the warships we see and keep them in a book. And then when it got to the point where they had to get to the negotiating table mediated by other countries, they were like, if you stay out of our waters, we'll destroy this book. And it worked.
Really?
Yeah. Because they were like, oh my God, don't look in that book. Because we've kept a log of all the things you did. And they promised that if they redrew the boundaries so that everyone could fish at a fair way. And
That's amazing.
They promised to destroy all the records they kept. So there's like this small European nation of like, we're just going to write you a stern letter. And if you back down, we'll rip it up. And no one will ever see it again. So
that's amazing.
I think their answer was it was just kind of like, well,
what can we do?
What can we do? I know, let's have fun. Let's just
stick a flag in it. Yeah.
Let's stick a flag and leave a bottle of schnapps to go, hey.
So was gas and oil found?
No, they were just looking for it.
Oh, they suspected it might be
They
there.
suspected it might be
They looked,
there.
and there was nothing there.
But just because they were looking around and it wasn't necessarily
So they ended up, I'm guessing they looked for, this is back in the 80s, so they looked and they found nothing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so
Because if they actually had found something, I'm guessing this joke would have turned more serious real quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of an unfinished story. So then in the same year, Canadian troops stopped on the island, and they replaced the flag with a Canadian flag, and they left a note welcoming anyone to the island, to saying welcome to Canada, and they left a bottle of Canadian Club whiskey. And I imagine they drank the schnapps. Or
they did.
Or threw it in the ocean.
No, they drink it, of course.
And then this was like a back and forth. So then
This is what I've heard. I've heard this story. My friends and I have told this back and forth whiskey story, the flag and the whiskey. And schnapps and whiskey, and I love it so much.
Sometimes they would be like ripped apart. Sometimes they wouldn't be.
The flags or the notes? Like
the flags would be ripped up and or taken down, and
that's a bit harsh.
I know. and like the Danish would leave letters saying "Welcome to the Danish island" or "Velkommen til den dansko," which is my terrible. It's
probably better than French.
It is probably. I find it easier to do those kind of languages though, like German and everything is closer to my accent. Weird, so, yeah. So and then this went back and forth. There's loads of instances. So. People have landed on helicopters. There's been loads of warships. So at one point, the Danish built a cairn with a flagpole. A cairn, which is like a mound of stones, a large mound of stones. Cairn.
Oh, cairn.
A cairn. And then again, the Danish returned, and the cairn with the flagpole, the flag was missing. And 1995, the flag was in pieces. 2003, they landed and they replaced the Danish flag again. 2005, Canadian soldiers.
So Canadians are bringing their own flag as well.
Every time they come back, and they probably had a crate.
Do the Danes rip up the Canadian flag?
They just take them down and replace them all the time. Imagine.
So the Canadians rip up the Danish flag. The Danes
sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't. I think it depends on
how they're feeling that day.
They're feeling mean.
Now, my question is, how often would they do this?
2003, the Danes returned. 2005, the Canadians returned. So the Canadians returned in 2005. They built an Inukshuk, and they put a plaque and a Canadian flag down. So they were getting more serious. They were like, let's take a bag of cement.
Do you know what a Inukshuk is?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just you haven't seen a lot of Canadian Heritage Minutes, so.
Well, no, I've seen them in BC.
Oh.
So I've actually seen real ones in the place where they belong. And then in 2005, in July, in a symbolic move, Canadian Defence Minister Bill Graham set foot on the island. And then, true to
shit
form,
went
as I
down.
mentioned, the Danish government then, following Bill Graham setting foot on the island, the bloody shit, they issued a letter of protest to Canada, an official letter of protest.
Oh, wow.
And then
Shit's getting real.
the deputy premier of Greenland, Josef Motzfeldt,
You're asking me?
Josef Motzfeldt stated the island was being occupied by Canada, and the experts should determine which country the island belongs to. 2005, the Danish ambassador to Canada published an article in the Ottawa Citizen, which is a newspaper in Ottawa.
Thank you.
Regarding the Danish view on the issue. And then it just goes on and on and on and on. The Danish claimed they wanted to open negotiations. And then the Canadians said that the sovereignty over the island is a very strong foundation. This is 2006. A Vancouver geologist receives a prospecting permit for Hans Island from the Canadian government. So it got to a point then where the Canadian government were then still had an interest in the geological kind of makeup of the area and was still allowing people to do research.
This is in 2009?
This was 2006.
2006, okay.
And then there was a little bit of teamwork. So scientists from the University of Toronto and the Technical University of Denmark did a joint project to install a weather station. It's nice.
Oh, wow.
Little joint science project.
So it started with a flag and a schnapps, and then it went from a keyern with a flag and some schnapps, and then after that, what was it after that? It was
a Nukshuk.
And a Nukshuk, right, with some whiskey, and now a weather station.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it all started with a Tim Hortons, but yeah. Okay.
And then
That's great.
I don't know whether and then there was an international group of scientists installed a weather station as well, another one. And then there was a proposal for Canada and Denmark to split the island in half, not literally, just in terms of a border.
That would take a while.
Yeah, exactly. And they created a joint task force to settle the dispute. This seems like a lot of effort over. And then again, another geologist was granted mineral exploration claims for Han Island in 2019, last year.
Canadian or
a Canadian scientist, and then the government of Greenland have also shared an application for mineral. So this is still going now. So it seems like more.
You said this was last year?
This was last year.
Oh
so
my God.
It seems.
Are they still leaving bottles of booze though?
I don't know, because now it's gone from like.
From what I understood, they were.
I hope they are. But ultimately, now there's even more. I think in the 80s, it was harder to extract smaller deposits of oil and gas. But now the technology's better. They will still get them in areas, even if it's not that profitable, they can still get it affordably. Right. So I think now they're going, well, what's up there? Let's go and see what's up there. So it's the battle still goes on. We're still in a whiskey war at the moment. It hasn't been settled.
If anyone out there hears this podcast and is connected in any way to the whiskey war of Hans Island.
Yeah. Have you ever been in the Navy or the military? Have you been a scientist? Have you ever been to Hans Island? Have you drank Danish schnapps on a frozen island? Or have you left Canadian?
We want to know. Let us know.
We'd
Find
love
us
to know.
like as if we're an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend and you're stalking us. You can find us on the internet. I'm sure you put a little bit of effort into it. But I really actually want to know if liquor is still being left by Greenland and by Canada back and forth to this day. Because if it is, I think that's amazing and hilarious.
Excuse me. Sorry, I have to interrupt. You thought we were doing this for free this entire time, didn't you? Yeah, that's funny. No, we got to pay the bills. So you're gonna sit there and you're gonna listen to what we have to feed in your ear holes, and you're gonna like it.
We should do a GoFundMe to charter a boat and a helicopter to go there and to leave a nice pina colada with an umbrella in. So if anyone want to set up a GoFundMe, maybe $50,000. I think that's reasonable. You want to go
totally fine.
Want to get there comfortably,
of course, yeah.
In a medium range comfort boat and helicopter, not leather seats, but heated seats.
Right, heated. Yes, it's very important. I'm okay with pleather.
Then go and set up a GoFundMe. We will go there, and it's just to confuse the Danish and Canadian scientists and military people, serious people.
Right.
Imagine if two idiotic podcasters turn up and leave a pina colada just to mix it up a bit on
in the
Hans
name of
Island.
Wales,
or in
a Welsh flag,
or in the name of pointless podcasts. It's even better.
Right?
We could do it.
Yeah.
What could we leave? We could leave a pint of Brains, which is a famous beer from Cardiff. Brains Bitter is
It's disgusting.
It's not actually made from brains.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
It's just a name.
Let's do that. Yeah, I'm down. That's fine. Brains Bitter.
I don't
on Hans
know if I
Island,
can get
the name
brains.
of Welshland.
If you're in Wales, I know we've got a few listeners in Wales.
Hi.
My friend Owen listens.
Hi, Owen.
Hi, Owen.
Hello, Owen.
And can you
Hey, everyone, look, it's Owen.
can you pour a bottle of brains into one of those sealed FedEx envelopes? Mail it over,
Maybe put it in a container first, not
then-
just the envelope.
and then raise $50,000 for us, and we will go and leave it on on Hans Island.
How would you mail something to Hans Island if it's constantly switching nationalities?
Well, you don't because there's no postal service. You can't just send it there. You can't just.
There is a weather station. And if there's a weather station, is there a little hut for the people using the
I
weather station?
imagine it's not manned. I imagine it's or personed, as you say.
Right.
I imagine it would be just a robot. But not a cool robot, a boring one that's just a box with a flashing light, not like C-3PO.
Like the loneliest robot in the world.
I know, the weather is terrible this time of year. Not like that.
I think I mentioned this before, like many, many episodes ago. I believe I did, but just talking about lonely robots makes me think of the Mars rover.
I know.
Who every year by itself out loud sings itself happy birthday, which is the saddest fucking thing I've ever heard. Just like alone on a planet, no one around. Just like by itself with its own little beeping instruments and stuff. And then when it's done, it's just left in the cold, dark void of Mars.
But I mean, it's achieved more with his life than some humans, so.
That's sure. I mean, it can be proud.
I've never explored a planet and sent back important data about soil. So,
We're going to do that with Hans Island, though.
I tell you what, we won't just go and deliver a pina colada and an envelope full of Welsh bitter. We will also.
Yeah, we won't pour it into a cup. We'll leave it in the envelope.
We'll bring back soil samples and we'll do tests on them, like eye tests and driving tests.
Yeah, because that's all we know how to do.
Yeah,
if that.
and we'll go. The soil from Han Island is no good. It can't drive or see. So don't dig for oil. There's no point. Scientific tests.
Yeah, I really want to go. And leave some. I think that'd be fantastic.
$50,000.
That's it. That's all it takes.
And I know there are. You go and GoFundMe, and there are some really worthy causes. But what's more worthy than two idiots going to a cold island that's very far away
To leave an envelope full of bitter. Yeah.
and a cocktail with an umbrella in?
I think it's great. One of our listeners has to be a multimillionaire. That's got to be a thing.
They don't have to be.
No,
It's not a
I'm
rule.
just like no,
Just one of them.
statistically speaking, right? Like if you just got $50,000 laying around and you want to have a lark, like what am I going to do today? Nothing. Let's send
I know.
two idiots on podcast over to Hans Island.
Oh, I've got all this money and I just hate it.
I hate it so much. I need more reasons to get rid of it. Oh, Jesse and Reese want to go to a cold barren island and drink.
I always think of like Denmark and Canada as two countries that are achieved a good living standard and are quite widely regarded as well-run countries. Denmark's a pretty awesome country.
Oh yeah,
they
sure.
got their shit together.
Yeah, totally.
And
I think that's their slogan. Actually,
We've got our shit together.
We've got our shit together. Yeah.
Denmark, we've got our shit together, and we invented Lego.
Did they really?
It sure is a Danish company.
What?
I know.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So those little Lego men, do they kind of like Danish people look like a little bit?
No, it's just a toy.
Oh, okay.
No, they're based on humans. But yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Danish people or
How did they leave the schnapps on the the with those plastic hands?
Well, they're kind of curved. A little way.
So anyway, but
So when you said
can't-
they're based on humans, you're talking about Lego men, not about Danish people, right?
they can't wear hats. They can't have hats
No, they
and
can't. They
hair at
just
the
have to
same
be
time.
the hats with very big holes
You
in
have
them.
to take your hat off to put your hair on.
Right, you put your hair on, yeah, after it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, this has been fun.
This has been super fun.
Okay.
Yay.
Well, I'm going to go and leave a bottle of whiskey somewhere for someone to find, and then come back and see if there's a bottle of schnapps there instead.
Like an adult version of Easter.
Yes.
Yeah. Where I suppose the adult version of Easter would have to do with Jesus, but this is the more fun version, adult version of Easter.
Exactly.
Oh my God, can you imagine? We could invent a new, so when you wake up as a child on Easter and the Easter bunny comes, right, and left all these chocolates for it, and you have to go on a chocolate egg hunt. right? You ever do that as a kid? Or is it just a North American thing?
No, you do go on an egg hunt, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, but at the adult version, what if they get those tiny little bottles of alcohol and he hid those all around the house and you wake up first thing in the morning, okay, and the alcoholic bunny has come and hid these all over the place while crashing into your china, fine china and like toppling over furniture and stuff like that. And like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, wake up, time to get shit faced. And like, oh, look what the alcoholic bunny left for you. And you've got to go and find, and whatever bottle of fine, you got to drink it like right away. Right. And so, but like 8 o'clock in the morning, you're stumbling and vomiting and just like lying in puddles of your own piss. And it's just like a wonderful holiday for everyone involved in the family.
Exactly. It'd be wonderful. Do you know, in the UK, we do celebrate Easter, but the eggs aren't made of chocolate. They're made of pork.
Fuck off.
No, they're not.
I totally believe that. For a second.
On that note, goodbye. So we've got this long lane, and our house is right at the back of the plot, buried in the forest.
Oh, wow.
Tucked away. My dream is to build a little winding path, like boardwalk, that goes through the forest. And then hidden in there is like a hut, like a tiny house podcast studio with like a log burner. And just to do podcasts in there
I'll
full
live
time.
there. I'll have a little bunk and a mini fridge.
Daddy, Dad. My British children. Daddy, Uncle Jesse's naked in the garden, Daddy. So
it's just taking his morning dump, children. Don't worry about it. We'll clean it up later.
Yeah, clean it like I do with the dog.